is what we're trying to strive for is consistency and stamina on both ends of the floor. I thought we played an incredible first half. I thought the ball movement, player movement, the execution on offense and defense was really done at a high level. And then obviously in the second half, we didn't really sustain any of that. We obviously gave up an enormous amount of points there in the second half, and we didn't really sustain much on offense. So I think the goal for us moving forward in terms of growth would be, can we play 48 minutes, not perfect basketball, but to an identity that we played to in the first half. And that was, I think, the difference in the game, in my opinion.
Eric first.
Billy, what changed in particular in terms of the way that you all were defending Kyrie Irving, or rather the way he was getting his offense from the first half to the second half? Because it seemed like y'all did a great job on him in the first half, and in the second half
I mean,
changed.
it's. I don't think, Eric, it's anything more than the concentration, the focus, and the stamina. You know what I mean? You have to have stamina to do it for a long period of time. 48 minutes, long time. There's a lot of possessions on offense and defense, and the concentration and the focus. And I thought our guys in that first half gave incredible effort, they had incredible concentration, focus. We got up, and we didn't really quite have that same concentration level and that focus level there in that second half. And for us, it was a tale of two halves. I mean, that's really what it was. But I think the positive part of it is that who we can be was out in front of us for the first 24 minutes, and what we can be on the other end was the second 24 minutes. And the goal is, can we be more from a, I always say this, to me the game of basketball is all about stamina. It's stamina to constantly, these guys, it's really, really demanding. Physically, it's demanding, mentally, emotionally, on offense, on defense, to do it for a long, long period of time. And we just got to keep striving to do that. I thought we made, coming out of the Milwaukee game, I think we won that game, but as a coach, you see some of those things in the second half, at Milwaukee. But we've got to be able to, put together, 4 quarters, and that's what we got to strive for.
Well, in the beginning of the third quarter, they were getting a lot of those buckets, either in transition or kind of on the secondary break. What were they doing different, just to be able to create those opportunities?
I didn't think they did anything different at all. I mean, I think they played the same way that they played really the whole entire game. And, they had a stamina, obviously, for them. I'm sure Brad maybe doesn't feel like it was a great first half for them. Maybe he feels it was the worst half that they played, of the year. I don't know. But, we were doing a great job cutting off the lane. We were doing a great job getting back in transition. We were doing a great job rebounding. Every area was really good, and I thought in the second half defensively, a lot of that opened up. We gave driving lanes, we gave layups, we gave up transition points, we gave up second chance points. And then I thought offensively, obviously we struggled to put the ball in the basket. The ball movement, the player movement wasn't where it was at, I didn't think, in the first half, that it was in the second half.
Maybe this is just too basic, but is this kind of a case of it's harder to defend when you're missing shots, in terms of just how you guys were able to?
I always think that's a challenge. I think when you miss shots, just anybody, it's defense is a grind, and anytime you're making shots, you always feel good about yourself. And we threw some shots in. We made some tough shots. Maybe they missed some ones that they could have made that they didn't make. We made some shots, and but the ball didn't win the basket. And I think if you look at the amount of points we scored in the second half, and the amount of points they scored in the second half, and then basically flipped the two halves, it was almost like they just scored really more points than we did in that second half than we were able to in the first half. But yeah, I mean, we've got to be able to put together, coming out of the locker room, play with focus and concentration and a purpose. That to me was the biggest difference.
Obviously, we're 8 games in, so there's going to be a lot of different circumstances for you all. But you're 0-3 in those games where it's close in the fourth quarter, basically within the last 5 minutes. I mean, how do you assess that early on in the season when you guys have struggled to close in the games that you've actually been close with other teams?
Yeah, I mean, I look at the game, as something that we've got to execute better. It's not necessarily like we need to execute better the last 4 or 5 minutes. We've got to execute better for 48 minutes. That's really what it comes down to. Is You know, I thought we had some sporadic possessions that were really, really good there in the second half, and particularly even in the third and fourth quarter, we had good ball movement, we got good shots. Listen, the times that we did run good offense and the times we did get relatively good shots, the ball didn't go in the basket, sometimes that's part of it. But the other thing too is we needed to defend better. You know, we just didn't defend well enough. You know, that's what you have to do. It's both ends of the floor. It's not just the offensive, it's the defense.
Anybody else? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.